Good morning, Bears fans. Welcome to Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. The Super Bowl is over. Congrats to my guy, Cullen Brown, and his Seattle Seahawks. You guys will see him this afternoon live. And yes, he went to the bowl. And yes, he is here today. The guy has had quite the 24 hours, so I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell. But we're going to dive into some post-Super Bowl rumors. Just a couple topics I want to hit on before we get to today's live show. Let's talk about Kenneth Walker. So obviously, he's earned himself some money with how he finished the regular season and then how good he's been in the playoffs. Could the Bears look to upgrade from DeAndre Swift by going out and getting a guy like Kenneth Walker, who I do think is a more complete and dynamic runner than Swift is? Had a really good regular season this year, was able to stay healthy as well, over 1,000 yards and just under 5 yards per carry. Always a dynamic threat receiving the ball as well. In fact, I think that's an area teams could use him more. But then in the playoffs, he was just fantastic. I mean, even last night, a $135 against that defense is already impressive because when Milton Williams plays, no rusher had more than 53 yards. He had a $135, and that's with what, that 60-yarder taken off the board at the end. He ends up winning Super Bowl MVP. He was dominant last night, and he along with the defense is why they got the lead and were able to maintain the lead because his ability to have success on the ground just limited the amount of times that you had to put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands. And the story last night was, hey, if Sam Darnold and the offense just take care of the football, the defense is going to carry us, and Kenneth Walker was the engine to that offense last night. Now, the question here is will Kenneth Walker free up? Seattle has the sixth most cap space. They have over $40 million available, so they could easily re-sign Kenneth Walker if they want to. They don't have a ton of roster needs. Like, they probably need a number two receiver. They could use maybe another guard on the interior on that offensive line, but they're pretty loaded. Maybe they want a younger pass rusher. A couple of their D linemen, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, are getting up there. But they could absolutely bring back Kenneth Walker, and they could even franchise tag him. Like if John Schneider, forward-thinking GM, doesn't want to commit to him long-term, he could easily just hit him with the tag, which is expected to be between $14 and $14.5 million. They can absorb that pretty easily for 2026. I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't at least tag him because he's just too valuable of a player. I mean, we saw it in this playoff run. He was fantastic throughout. And again, Seattle has pretty much their entire core coming back. So if I'm the Seahawks, I'm looking at this moving forward. The NFL is kind of wide open again next year. Like, they're probably the team to beat along with the Rams in the National Football League. We're hoping our Bears get in the mix there as well. So I don't know if he'd actually become available. Now, if he did, DeAndre Swift, who I like, and I've said I'd be cool running it back with him and Monungai, you do save $7.5 million if you cut him. So let's say Walker hit free agency and you can get him 12, 13 a year. We're only adding about $5 million to your cap hit, and if it's a long-term deal, you could keep it down for next year. So it wouldn't completely stun me if the Bears were interested in a guy like Kenneth Walker in this offense. I mean, obviously it's a very running back friendly offense. Kenneth Walker has great vision, had a couple of runs last night, and even Collinsworth said it was like, that looked like Le'Veon Bell, just letting the blocks set themselves up. So I wouldn't be against it. It wouldn't completely shock me. But again, I don't think Walker's freeing up. I think that's the thing with how he finished this year. If I'm Seattle, I'm at least tag him, even if they were to tag and trade him. Like, I think he's got enough value. They could trade him for a middle round pick. So worst case scenario, I think Seattle would do that. And I wouldn't trade for Kenneth Walker. I don't want him that badly. So I do think it's a long shot because if I'm John Schneider, I'm not letting him hit the open market for free. I'm at least going to franchise tag him. And if I can't keep him long term, he plays on the tag, or, they could explore trade options if that were to pop up. But we'll see what ends up happening. I'll ask you guys, though, in a hypothetical sense, would you cut DeAndre Swift to sign Kenneth Walker? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If the money was reasonable for Walker, I would think about it. He has had some injuries in the past, so I don't know if he'd get like $15, $16 million per year. But with this playoff run, you're probably talking $12, $13 million per year on a 3, maybe even a 4-year contract. So, if it was in that range, I'd be open to it, but I think he gets franchise tag, so I think it's a moot point. Okay, a lot of debates on the interwebs now. Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, after Drake Maye really struggled in the postseason. That 2024 draft, I still think who the best quarterback is very much up for debate heading into next season and obviously long term. We'll kind of dive into that a little bit coming up here on today's show when it comes to Caleb, Drake, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Does he re-enter the mix there as well? We'll dive into all of it. But first, got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor. Mando is back on the show. Their whole body deodorant is awesome. Check it out at shopmando.com. 20% off at checkout with code CHAT. But fellas, what is your go-to move when you're getting ready for a first date? Valentine's is almost here. Maybe you get a new haircut. I just got one. Maybe it's washing your car before you pick the lady up. You know what's a non-negotiable for first dates? Deodorant. And no one does deodorant better than Mando. Mando isn't just for your armpits. Their products are safe from head to toe, whether it's stick deodorant, spray deodorant, deodorant wipes, or body wash. Mando has you covered as their products are clinically proven 72-hour odor control. Mando's products are clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor was a 0 out of 10. That is tested. Some men mask their BO with scents. Mando gets the job done right for the fellas. Don't mask it. Mando it. Available in retailers near you. Head to shopmando.com because for a limited time you get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off plus free shipping. That is shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them Bears Now by Chat Sports sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Okay, let's talk Drake Maye. Clearly it was a struggle. He did not play well in the postseason. Now, I'm not going to be one of these Bears fans and content creators that just like, Drake Maye stinks. But if we're being honest, he had a bad playoff run. Like that's just the reality of the situation. Now, how much was the shoulder thing impacting him? He acknowledged last night he got a shot before the game. Clearly, the offensive line and Will Campbell in particular did not play as well in the postseason than they did in the regular season. The stage is bigger. All those things factor in. I don't think we should make any declaration on who Drake Maye is going to be moving forward based on this playoff run. He was obviously fantastic in the regular season, but he literally had the worst playoff run since EPA has been tested that we've ever seen. For a player to start at least 3 games in the postseason, worst EPA ever, and that includes Peyton Manning the year the Broncos won the Super Bowl, and he literally couldn't throw the forward pass. So it was rough. I mean, he did not play well. I mean, even Collinsworth last night was like, look, the offensive line is struggling, but there are plays where the protection's there, and he's just missing the throws. He's getting sped up, and he's not playing well. The Hooper miss last night was really bad. He's forcing the ball into triple coverage late in the game. It didn't go well. But he was able to ride a good defense, still got to the Super Bowl. So obviously, all in all, a fantastic year. And listen, in the regular season, Drake Maye was fantastic. I don't think anyone would debate who had the overall better regular season between Caleb Williams and Drake Maye, even though Caleb played against tougher competition. Drake was certainly the more consistent player this year. I think if we're all being fair, out of the 2024 class, Jaden Daniels in 2024 had the best regular season. Caleb was probably second. Drake Maye this year had the best regular season. Caleb was probably second again. Now, I do think there is context that can be mentioned. Versus winning teams, Ben Devine had this number. Drake Maye, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks. Caleb, 19 touchdowns, 9 picks. Those include some playoffs as well. Look, I think the jury's still out. I think that class has 4 solid starters to potentially incredible starters with Caleb, Jaden, Drake, and Bo Nix. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, but if you're a Bears fan, I think there's absolutely full reason to believe that the Bears got this right, taking him number 1 overall. My favorite 2 quarterbacks in that draft were Caleb and Drake, and then I had Jaden third. And that's probably how I would rank them going into next year with Caleb and Drake. You could debate. Drake was better overall this year. I still think the ceiling with Caleb is clearly the highest. The highs this season, we certainly saw that. It's about finding the consistency now moving forward. Now, pick a quarterback. Who would you pick out of these four guys? Type CW for Caleb, DM for Drake, JD for Jaden Daniels, BN for Bo Nix. I still think Caleb's ceiling is the highest, and I like the direction he's going in. All right, it sounds like Will Lawing is going to be the passing game coordinator. This comes after our guy, Press Taylor, was promoted to offensive coordinator over the weekend. We broke down that news yesterday. Go dive into that video if you want. But it sounds like Will Lawing is going to be the pass game coordinator. As of now, there has not been a press release on that, but that is the expectation. And if that is the case, 3 offensive staff changes for the Bears. Press Taylor is the new OC, replacing Declan Doyle. Will Lawing is the pass game coordinator, replacing Press Taylor in that role. And then Eric Studesville is the running backs coach, replacing Eric Bieniemy. And that should be it. That should be it for the coaching staff changes, barring a last-minute, retirement, or if the Raiders or Cardinals, who are still putting their staffs together, were to poach somebody. Like, could the Raiders or Cardinals try to hire Al Harris as DC? I suppose, but there hasn't been any chatter of that taking place. And if that's the case, then pretty minimal changes. Obviously, you lose Declan and Eric Bieniemy, who are good football coaches, but all in all, not too shabby overall. All right, subscribe and join us. Bears Now live this afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time. Like I said, my guy Cullen Brown went to the Super Bowl and is back in studio. He's loading up on energy drinks to get through this show. So stay tuned. We'll catch up then, unless there's breaking news before then. But subscribe, and we'll see you this afternoon. Bear down.